Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Legends Roadwork. I got that right, yes?
Woo,
3?
3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes. I did it. I got it right. Okay, so as usual, we're going to go off with the big boy scale for 3 new units, and then we'll dive into viewer questions. Our first unit is actually a viewer request that was in the last episode. He wanted us to scale the red Super Saiyan Vegeta. So he is actually apparently not one of the 5 least used. By the way, I hope he meant Super Saiyan Vegeta and not Majin Vegeta, because that's the one we're doing. So I hope he got it right. Sorry if we didn't.
I mean, be more specific if you wanted a very. You're forgetting the fact that there are multiple. I was about to ask you which red Super Saiyan Vegeta are we doing?
We're doing the Android Saga one.
All right, that works. But yeah, always be more specific. He probably did not know that you were going to take requests because I don't take requests. So
I don't mind requests. So anyway, he is somehow not in one of the 5 most least used Sparkings. I thought he was gonna be. And I think it's purely because his Z ability is really good. So people will use it sometimes.
So the fact that his Z ability may puts him on the bench is really hurting him in the long run.
Right, because he's not getting any actual buffs because people are sticking him on the bench and just saying, fuck it.
All right, what does he do then? Break down for us.
Main ability, minus 15 to his strike arts cost for 10 seconds. So that means his strike cards only cost 5 ki, which used to be really good when sidestepping was a thing, and you could basically just draw cards as much as you wanted. But now that sidestepping's dead, that's not that great because the max you can really have is like 4 or 5 before you run out. His unique ability, he only has 1, and a lot of other characters have more than 1, so boy, does that suck. And it is plus 20% to strike damage inflicted from the battle start for 20 seconds. Not very good.
This seems really. Is this like a very old unit?
It's very
that does not
old.
sound good.
He's one of the first Sparkings that came out after. Actually, I think he is one of the very first Sparkings that came out after the launch banner. So I think the banner right after the launch banner had him and the Trunks in it.
Okay, that helps put into context why he's like this. Because
so
I was
bad.
about to say, yeah, because some extremes nowadays do way better than this.
His special, his super attack is causes enemies to receive 15% more strike damage for 15 seconds. Excuse me. And then his green card is he restores his health by 15% and gets rid of his own abnormal conditions.
Even that one right there is weird because we have units like Bpan who heals her own HP, then cures abnormals of everyone.
Right.
Not just the unit itself.
He is super outdated nowadays. But his Z ability is 24 at 5 stars, it's 24% to red strike attack and red strike defense. That's really good for Fury Broly, for God Goku, for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, for Kale, and for Zamasu. So here we are. He's still getting used.
So that is the only reason, really, is that it's because the bench. You want to put him on the bench. You never use him.
Right, and I mean that's. This is actually, we'll save this topic for questions because someone asked a question that is very pertinent to this that we'll talk about later. But the red Trunks, the future Trunks, has the same problem where he gets used because he's the only red hybrid, really. He might actually be the only one that's a Sparking. He is. He's the only red Sparking hybrid. And then if you dip into the EXs, you have Bpan and you have Saiyan Armor Kid Gohan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because he's the only red Sparking hybrid, people use him for that reason. And so he gets used, but he's in desperate need of any kind of buff. He's very bad.
So kind of because there's no other option, that's the reason why that's why he has been denied. That's why someone like Hercule was able to come up and literally take the buff away from him.
Right, and Hercule still sucks, so it's not like the buff did anything for him. But because they're doing it, I actually hope, we're going to save all of this for later because someone asks a question that's basically what we're going to talk about right now. Anyway.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta. His art kind of sucks. It's kind of lame looking. It's just a big-handed, big bang attack. But what I do really like about this character, it's like the only thing I like about him, It's that his boots are the pure white boots because they actually got it right, and they used the boots from the Android 19 fight.
Oh wow.
It's yeah, so he doesn't have the gold tips on the boot toes because the Saiyan armor didn't used to have that. And right when he first went Super Saiyan, he wore those boots, and then he never wore them again, ever again
So
after
it's a
that fight.
good attention to detail.
Right, and that's the only thing I like about this character.
I will say that some of his background art, which is him half naked being hugged by Bulma, and then the other one is him kicking Android 19 so goddamn hard in the chest. Like he is full on
Oh, that is the good
inside
kick.
this man's
Yeah,
belly.
that's the kick where Android like 19's stomach shoots out of his back.
Yeah, and his smile is real good. It really helps sell it. And then you can see a little bit of the eyes of the android. So you just see his eyes bugging out, but just barely out the corner of your eye.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, so a lot of the overall details around him, just not the they did what they
He's
could
got a
for
lot
this
of
specific
cute
unit.
series reference stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
which is nice, which is appreciated.
yeah, but nothing
But
else really there about him.
yeah, no. It does not help that he's doing the pose of maybe one of the worst cards to get in Dokkan, which does cause me to vomit in my mouth a little bit. Which is
Oh, the tech. That's right. He
yeah.
the tech Super Saiyan Vegeta, the one
And
from launch that's
obviously
still
there's
in
a
the
lot of
fucking
crossover.
pool.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between the two because they are taking poses directly from the series. I'm not saying like, oh, one copy of the other. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that because I've played a lot of Dokkan, I am predisposed to hate this pose now. Like that's just the way it
No,
is.
I get you. I get you 100%.
Man.
All right, so what do you think?
So yeah, I'm thinking like I think if there was like a category of I don't understand, like if it was not for his, it's really unfortunate because now I'm in like I'm trying to think about this unit. I think his Z ability might actually be the thing that like is gonna hold him back from ever getting a buff. So I don't see this unit actually ever improving in the game until someone literally takes over his Z ability and just does what he does better. But then there's a bunch of units. It has to get to the point where the unit that has this C ability is so just widespread somehow and can do what he does, which is just be a bench unit that it replaces him. And I don't know. Legends it takes a long time to release certain units, and if it's been this long, I don't understand. I don't see that happening. So he's
Yeah,
kind of
I
like,
get you.
yeah. So for me, I think he's just straight up a 2 out of 5, and that 2 is literally because of that kick. That kick is amazing, and it's nowhere on the card.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 2 also for the same reason is that you know what? I'll give him a 2. I'll be generous here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him a 2, one because that the art stuff is cool, and two because I feel like he is prime for a buff. He is buff
Yeah.
bait. Like he has got to get one soon, right? They've gone through 2 sets of buffs, and this guy is definitely one of the worst cards in the game now.
We'll see. I'm still in the belief that if they keep no one uses Hercule, Hercule's gonna from now on just keep getting buffs
He's
over and
just
over and over
he's
again.
gonna pull a Ken in Epic 7 and just get buffed 100,000 times until he's good.
Yes, he's gonna be like literally like it's gonna take forever for this unit to be something usable. And the only reason it's gonna be that way is because he's supposed to be a joke character, but because of his essence of being a joke character, he's now always at the bottom 5. And because of the own rules that they set up, Hercule will always get a buff no matter what.
So you're
Like
saying
they
every sparking buff group is actually only going to be 4 characters because Hercule is always going to steal it.
Yeah, if Hercule is not in the next one, then they are lying to you. Then they're saying to you like we've skipped Hercule because we felt like okay, we can't get another wasted buff to this guy.
Yeah, that's fair because it really was a wasted buff. They like he has some okayish stuff, but it's pretty clear they want him to remain a joke character and not actually get played. So it's weird to me that they buffed him at
Yeah.
all if they weren't going to buff him to the point that you should play him.
Eventually, they're gonna buff him to the point where he's actually going to be an extremely good unit. It's just going to take a very long time. So yeah, Vegeta, we'll see if he ever gets a buff, but I think a 2 out of 5 is generous for where he is now. If when he gets a buff, maybe we'll do a reevaluation.
Okay. Yeah,
at that
two out of
point.
five. That's fair from both of us, I think.
Yeah.
So the next unit, I'm flipping the script on you. I'm changing one that I said we were gonna do to one that is very similar. Uh, we're gonna
Oh
do
shit.
the purple Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku.
Oh, that does flip the strip. Quickly play the flip the strip sound effect. Just kidding. There's no sound effects.
I wish we had a sound.
When
I wish I had sound effects. I don't have sound effects.
get a soundboard for next time, just get nothing but Goku noises. Press the Goku button.
So in my opinion, this guy is silently one of the best characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You never see him get talked about. Everyone always loses their shit, and they're falling out over whatever the new cards are and how great they all are. This guy is just consistently really good, just always.
One of the top.
So his main ability is to draw an Ultimate Arts card. I have no idea why it's called Neo Super Dragon Fist, because he does not do Dragon Fist. It's just a Kamehameha. But it does a lot of damage, and it has a feint chance on it, because fuck everybody.
Yep. Fuck everyone.
Yeah, his unique abilities, because he's a good character, so he has two, unlike that Vegeta, is plus 20% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts every time he enters the battlefield. So every time he tags in, he gets a 20% damage buff. And then the following effects also occur depending on the number of timer counts elapsed since the beginning of the battle. So not while he's in, but just from the start of the game. After 15 seconds, he gets 20% more damage inflicted. After 30 seconds, he gets 30% to his own key recovery for 40 seconds. And then, he gets 30% to his own key recovery just as a buff. And then at 40 seconds, he gets 30% to his strike damage inflicted. That's crazy. That's 70% strike damage.
Yeah, that's a lot for. It's funny that they're like not used to this change yet. It makes it seem like, well, actually, since it's Angel Goku, it does make sense that he's just like getting stronger as the fight goes on. Because I was about to say, I thought like using Super Saiyan 3 at that time was supposed to drain you extremely fast, but I'm thinking of the Kid Buu fight when he's
Yes.
regular Super Saiyan 3.
Yes.
So,
Right. So his
mhm.
other unique ability is he does 40% strike damage bonus to regeneration characters. So Boo, Cell, Piccolo, Janemba,
Zamasu.
Zamasu. Yep. His special is a Super Kamehameha. It inflicts the attribute downgrade of plus 20% to the strike damage received for 15 timer counts. Green card is plus 25% to strike damage inflicted and minus 5 to his strike arts cost. So the strike goes down. The cost goes down to 15? I guess 14 if you max him out because you get that one cost off.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings 2 strike cards into battle instead of a strike and a blast like a lot of people do. Your boy's really good. Really good.
Yeah, he's real good.
So just
He's
counting those
one.
buffs, from his first unique ability, he's getting 20% damage, another 20% damage, and then 30% strike. So that's 40% flat, 30% strike. Then his super attack adds 20% strike onto that. Then his green card adds another 25% strike. It's like 120% strike
So
damage buff.
he's gets deadlier as the fight goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't deal with him quickly or just decide like I guess I got, and a lot of people don't, because I feel like that's the deceptive thing about Super Saiyan 3 Goku is that the teams that he's usually on, the people you want a Rising Rush are the ones that you don't think about because Super Saiyan, it's like you're like, okay, maybe I can take down Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but also there might be like a Broly on this team or something, like one of those units, and you're like, I want to deal it to them specifically. I
Right. And
don't want to
then
go.
also, you think of a character that gets stronger as the fight goes on as like one of those guys who gets buffed when his allies die, like
Mm-hmm.
a one of the buff Gokus or
Rage Vegeta.
Rage Vegeta, yeah, someone like that. That when your allies die, they come in with more buffs, and Goku doesn't do that. He's a flat just amount of time. So even if your guys are still alive, if Goku comes in after 30 seconds, he's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
also his Z
if you're
ability. I didn't even bring that up. At 5 stars, it's 22% to strike attack and blast defense of all Saiyans.
Yeah, and Saiyans are the one maybe one of the easiest teams just to build
Oh,
for.
without a doubt, just the sheer volume of who you have. Like, it's
Yeah,
Saiyans
it's a
is
lot
a
of
team
people.
that will never lack in value. Like, you know how for a while we would always talk about, oh, I can't wait for androids to come back, or, hybrids have been out of the meta for a while. Saiyans will never be out of the meta by pure virtue of the fact that Goku and Vegeta are those. You just can't. You
Yes,
can't make a Goku and Vegeta category bad.
it's just kind of impossible, and this is the same thing that Dokkan had to deal with as well. Is that um Vegeta and Goku, they're the dudes. Like it or not, they're the dudes. So if you build anything around them, it's very specifically the tags Saiyan, Goku, and maybe now Vegeta, because I feel like maybe Vegeta's team, like family Vegeta, is maybe the one where you go like it kind of depends on how they decide to buff Vegeta on that team, but Saiyans are always solid because Saiyans are always gonna have Goku and Vegeta, and Goku
Mm-hmm.
and Vegeta are two of the strongest Saiyans,
Mm-hmm.
and now Broly.
And Broly too. Yeah, they have. One thing I think they've done to balance it, which I think is pretty good, is that it's been a long time since a pure Saiyan support has come out. I think he might be the last one that it just
Mm-hmm.
buffs just Saiyans. You have people like Super Saiyan Bardock that buff Super Saiyans, but you don't have anyone that buffs just like flat Saiyans really anymore. That's why you still see people using the EX Raditz and the EX Blue Goku from launch, because there's just not anybody else there. So I think they're at least keeping it kind of balanced in that Saiyans aren't getting
Or,
overpowered buffs and all the good characters.
mhm. They've realized that like early on that like we either need to cap this or we're gonna have a very big problem with our end game stuff.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
All right, what do you think about him? We didn't really talk about his art, but we'll talk about that when we give our rankings.
Yeah, so the my rankings is this. I also like so one of the funny things about his background art is that it has the Super Saiyan in the Grand Kai clothes, Gohan, it has Krillin, and then it also has Chaozu and Tien. So I'm not 100% sure what they're trying to go for then, because I want to say that by the time he went Super Saiyan 3 Angel, I don't remember Chaozu and Tien, or maybe it was one of those like they cut
They
back
were
to them.
there. They weren't with the team, but it was the first time you see Tien and Chaozu in that arc, and it's Goku going Super Saiyan 3, and it cuts to them, and they just go like, "Oh my God, is that Goku? Ah!" And then it cuts back to the characters that matter.
And then Tien goes, "Damn it!" And then it cuts back to
Yeah,
Goku.
Tien's like, "Son of a bitch."
Son, I thought he died. I thought we were done with this.
And then
No,
Krillin, the one I don't remember is Super Saiyan Kai Gohan. I don't remember him sensing it.
no, I know he was dead by the, or in
Quote
quotes,
unquote
dead.
dead. Yeah.
But why is he Super Saiyan during this one thing? Maybe it's an
Well,
anime
it's when
thing
he's
where,
trying to pull out the Z sword.
oh, that might be what he felt. Yeah. So, I really like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I actually recently pulled the STR one, and I was kind of bummed because I was like, I kind of wish you were the intelligent one, because it'd be nice to have him over the STR one. Not that the STR one is bad; it's just not the intelligent
Yeah, I
one.
think the purple. I think the red one is good, but I do think the purple one is better.
Yeah. The one thing that's weird is again having the Dragon Fist. I don't. This is something that is also a problem in Dokkan when it comes to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They seem to only want to talk about the Dragon Fist.
Yeah, and
This
it's
is like
weird
a
because they named
constant.
it the Dragon Fist, and he doesn't even do it.
No, he does do the Dragon Fist animation when you summon, if you are
Yeah,
lucky enough to
which
have
what the
him.
fuck?
So that shit's in the game. They just decided not to give him the Dragon Fist. Um, he has Feint, which is a fucking bullshit ass move.
25% chance of it too.
Yeah, I've never been in a situation where I was happy that Feint went off, even when it was me, because then it like kind of taints the victory at that
Yeah,
point.
I'm not like rhyme style straight up. It says like if I faint somebody, I just tap key blast them so they can get out because I think it's unfair. I'm not that generous. If I
No.
faint somebody, I will take advantage of it, but I still feel bad. Like it's such a lame thing.
It's like, yeah, I was like, you're gonna get shit on for this, but then I expect you to do the same if this ever happened. But I don't know. I feel like overall he is pretty close to a. Hmm. I think 5 out of 5 for me, just because he is one of the ones that like I like that there's a running theme that all the people who attacked Fat Boo is getting anti regeneration.
Yeah.
So it's him and Evil Boo are the only ones that do damage, I think, against regeneration dudes, and I
Hmm.
think it's simply because it's Fat Boo.
It's just people who shit on Fat Boo. Yep.
Yeah, so they didn't give it to Super Saiyan Gotenks, for example, even though he fought Super Boo and did fine, because But they also didn't give it to Ultimate Gohan, who also fought Boo and did fine. So it's only people who fought Fat Boo so far.
Yep.
So for that kind of like degree of like theming of like, okay, this is a very funny thing that you guys have started. I feel it's 5 out of 5. And again, it's one of those like the units who is tough to fight because the longer the fight goes, the stronger he is. And if you're playing against a good opponent, they will figure out the fact that they will probably sacrifice one of their, they'll take all they can with Broly or something and something with Vegeta. And then once you feel like you're in a safe place, this guy literally can come out of nowhere and just beat the shit out of you.
Right. So yeah, for me, it's like he's really good at being a top tier character without pulling top tier attention. Somebody sees
Mm-hmm.
Broly and they think, shit, that guy's got to go. Somebody sees Super Saiyan Bardock and they're like, okay, that dude's a problem. Someone sees Super Saiyan 3 Goku and they just kind of see, like, yeah, that's a good character. But he has everything that a top tier character has.
Yeah, he just is able to be silently extremely good with being ignored.
Yeah, yeah. He's very good at just not being considered a priority threat. And also, I love,
Yeah.
actually,
So
I
you
like the different part of his background art, which is him giving the Super Saiyan lesson to Boo.
Oh,
It's,
really? Is that on there?
yeah, his other art is him as a Super Saiyan angel, and then also as a Super Saiyan 2 angel when he's doing this is a Super Saiyan, and this is a Super Saiyan 2, like,
Oh,
speech.
he does have that.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's funny.
It is
Um,
funny. Only thing it's missing is Bobbity telling him to get a haircut, hippie.
yep. And also, just his actual art itself, that's like kind of the Super Saiyan 3 pose, like the de
Mm-hmm.
facto Super Saiyan 3 pose. That's why every time you see someone like in Dragon Ball Heroes or whatever get Super Saiyan 3, they're
They do
doing
that
that
pose.
pose. Yeah. Uh,
It's honestly the pose where Super Saiyan 3 looks best.
it definitely looks the coolest with that pose.
Yes. Once you start doing other poses, you have to factor in the eyebrows, and that's what kind of breaks the immersion of Super
Yeah,
Saiyan
the
3.
eyebrow ridge. I think I would like Super Saiyan 3 a lot if it wasn't for the eyebrow ridge. And I am okay with Super Saiyan 3. I used to hate it. I'm more
Mm-hmm.
okay with it now. I kind of like it. It kind of is not great. It's like a mid-tier form for me. But I think if it had eyebrows, it would be up there
Yeah, we'll see. That's an alternate thing. Maybe in Heroes they'll release the Super Saiyan 3 Angel with
with eyebrows.
eyebrows.
But I think he's a 5 out of 5 for me too. I really like everything about him. Nothing about him I
Yeah.
dislike.
Yeah, there's no real faults in them.
Nope.
It's not even a case of like it's a like someone like anyone who is green always will have the fault of Broly exists.
Broly is in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't exist for Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
I will say, I mean,
There's no
being
real
the
fault.
same color as Broly is also kind of a fault-ish because it's like, well, if you're ever not using mono purple, you're always going to bring Broly instead. But that's not even necessarily true because of his big buff against regen units.
Yeah, so there will be cases where it's like, well, if I'm fighting this annoying ass team, gonna have to bring in the boy, bring
Right.
in the dude.
Yeah, I just see no downside to him as a character at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 5 out of 5. We got
Alrighty.
a 2 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5. And then our last one for the day for the big boy scale is the brand new Ultimate Gohan.
It's the dude. Another one of the dudes.
Yeah, another one of the dudes. I fucking love Ultimate Gohan. I'm not like a huge Gohan fan. Like I'm pretty whatever when it comes to like Teen Gohan. Super Saiyan 2 versus Cell. Like I don't get, but whatever, whatever. Gohan's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Gohan is cool as shit. I don't know why.
It is him at his maybe most I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people like Ultimate Gohan. It is the ultimate culmination of what they fought. It almost feels like that specific arc he has where he's a teenage boy who is not strong enough as for like literally he was stronger than Goku and Vegeta at one point, and then he stopped training, so it allowed Goku and Vegeta to literally catch up to him. And it was like, yeah, you were hot shit once, but you stopped. We never stopped.
Yep.
And so when you get Ultimate Gohan, it's the final realization of like, okay, here's the shortcut, all potential released. You watch this old man give me like the fucking the hands for like 5 minutes or so, for like 5 hours or so. So then he comes out and he's super fucking cool. And I feel that's just what it's the one high that all Gohan fans since that point have been kind of chasing.
They really have. They have been desperate to one day recapture that glory. It never
Yeah.
ends.
This is his scored 4 touchdowns in a football game moment for Gohan fans.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they'll yeah.
So let's go to. Probably should tell you what he does. I forgot that we do that on the show. So
Yeah,
his
you're so used to us just not talking about the unit at all,
right.
and just talking about how cool it is when Piccolo rips off his arms.
So his main ability is he gets the Ultimate Arts card Burst Rush. It's basically the same as the Intelligence Gohan Super in Dokkan, but it looks really fucking good in this game. Really clean. And it adds +1 to the amount of times he can use his special cover rescue, which is one of his unique abilities. And he receives 0 damage when changing cover for the first time. And it also gives him 20% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. And it makes +5 on his substitution count, so he can't tag out for an extra 5 seconds. But it's the same thing as Instant Transmission Goku, basically. He does the exact same thing. And then his unique ability, his other unique ability, is every time not every time. The first 2 times that he vanishes, he draws a green card. And his green cards are so fucking good. He also gets +20% to his damage inflicted. But the first 2 times he vanishes, he draws a green card. And his green card is a permanent stacking buff. So 1 green card, it's almost like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where Ultimate Level 1 is a 40% buff to his strike damage. Then the second one is Level 2, and he also gets 30% to his own ki recovery. Then the third card is Level 3, and it adds 40% to his blast damage. And then the next card, which is card 4, and then all the rest of them, is he recovers 50 ki and gets rid of all of his debuffs. So once you hit that 4th card, every time you use a green card, you get 50 ki back, and you get rid of all the debuffs that an enemy might have put on you. His green card is crazy good.
Yeah, if you allow it to get that far, it's going to be a real problem.
It's real easy to get that far, too, because he's like Turles. Man, he pumps out green cards. It's a lot like Turles eating the fruit. Like, I consistently get to level 2 and 3 without even really trying that hard.
Yeah, all you need to do is vanish.
Pretty much, yeah. His super attack is the Super Kamehameha. Inflicts the enemy with the attribute downgrade +20% to strike damage received, which is fine. By the way, his ultimate attack, the Burst Rush that he gets with his main ability, when it hits the enemy, it takes away 50 of their ki.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's real bad.
Yeah. And then at 5 stars, his Z ability is he gives 33% blast attack to both Hybrid Saiyans and Sun family units.
Good dual. I understand. I've just joined Legends, but I understand Hybrid Saiyans have been in kind of a rut for a while now.
Yes. I don't even necessarily think Ultimate Gohan gets them out of that rut, but he does help.
No, it's one of those, like, it's a first good step.
Yeah. They really need a good red is what they really need. Trunks needs to get buffed or someone else needs to get on the team. That's what they need.
Release that B-Pan sparking red.
Any day now.
DX.
Any day now. But anyway, that is his actual skill set. What do you think of Ultimate Gohan?
Yeah, I feel like this is another. I feel like this is. I remember seeing this day one, which is the thing we mentioned, which was the number one thing most people really didn't want him to have was to be green, and they figured out a way to just wait. find one way to screw over Gohan,
Yep.
which is to make him green.
A green
It's
boy
really the
in
only way
Broly's
they.
world.
Yeah, he now has to exist and fight in Broly's world, and it's not like the biggest thing in the world if you can play around it, but it will constantly be in the back of your mind of like, ah, fuck, it's Broly. So every other match will have Broly, and you'll either have to be like me with Mai and go, this unit's too good, it's worth the risk, or go, fuck it, I guess I'll use someone else. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way that the meta is. It's literally something that will only affect green types until either there's a physical type that can help take down Broly, because there's plenty, but the only way to stop his dominance is to have such a counter to him that it doesn't make sense to run him as much as always. And that
Right.
just doesn't seem like it's going to be possible for a while, at least, I'd say.
Yeah, so with Ultimate Gohan being green, it does suck. Being green sucks. Green cards suck. But
Mhm.
it's mitigated in that both of the teams you're going to use him on pack pretty good yellows, and it's the same yellow, and it's Super Saiyan Future Gohan. That's a really good character, and he's on both Hybrid primary team and Sun Family primary team, and he kind of shits on Broly if he gets going because he does a lot of damage.
Yeah, if you let him get to that far, then yes, he can easily help mitigate the fact that he is at a disadvantage.
Right. And that's good. I mean, it feels kind of pointless to say because it's like, yeah, obviously a counter character beats Broly. Like, I'm not saying that like some kind of revelation, but
No,
he could be on a team where he has no alternative. Like, there's nowhere to go. So being green sucks, but it's a team game and it's not the end of the world.
it's not the end of the
Yeah,
world for
it's just not
sure.
the end of the world.
It's just going to create the occasional feeling of going, I really wish I could use my Gohan more,
Hmm.
but this unit is being a real pain in the ass. And if I want to, I could either have a pain in the ass fight that will be slightly harder, but I'm using the dude I like, or just use another unit and it will be slightly easier for me. Again, it's something you have to think about when you're using it, and it's going to be up to the player if they're like, no, fuck it, I'm going for it. Let's
Yeah, I
go.
mean, I just uploaded a video today that was the Sun Family, and I fought a couple Brolys in that, and I really wasn't too upset about it. Like, it didn't really make that big of a difference to me.
No.
So,
I feel like there's enough, if you can use enough skill, you can help offset that. The problem is when you run into someone who is more skillful than you.
yeah.
That's when
Yeah, it's
it
definitely a
can.
disadvantage, but I don't think it's so crippling that you just can't use him. You know,
Yeah,
it's not keeping him off teams that he should be on.
no. He's good enough. That's the thing, is that he's similar to Mai. Is that Mai is extremely good, so it's worth the risk. It's because his kit is built in such a way that it's like, no, this is all good. It's worth it. Go for it. Fuck it.
Yeah, just fucking
But
yeah, exactly. Mai is a really good
yeah,
comparison. Top tier character, no questions asked, is green.
is green, and yeah, that's kind of what I think about it. And I'll also say this is something you're gonna know because I don't have him. Can you remove his buffs from the potential unleashed?
I would assume so. They're perma buffs, so they don't run out with a timer, but I don't know if you can
Uh-huh.
dispel them. I assume you can because they're not
Okay,
innate
because I
buffs, they're
remember we ran
applied buffs.
into. So, for example, you can't remove future Gohans because it's a
Well, I don't know if that's right either. I'm not a oh.
is when allies die, he gets more strong. But I'm wondering if this is the kind where it's like, okay, if you are so unlucky, it is possible, like Turtles, if you run into one of the units that does have something like a Bulma or something,
Since you
which
can
would be fun.
remove Turles' fruits, I would say yes, you can probably remove Ultimate's forms also, because it's basically the same thing as
Mhm.
the fruit.
Again, not the biggest thing in the world, because again, one of the units I mentioned is Bulma, and Gohan should be able to if Bulma is able to get rid if a Bulma is able to get rid of your Gohan's buffs, then you never deserve those buffs to begin with.
Exactly.
But yeah, this I feel like this is an extremely good I feel it does enough justice to the people who wanted this Gohan, which is a nice change of pace because I feel like again coming from Dokkan, which will always get a comparison just because it's the other mobile game. Ultimate Gohan was in a real weird rut for an extremely long time, and
Hmm.
even now his easy A's are one of the ones I forget about the most. So For your ultimate and ultimate Gohan beatdowns, this is the ultimate Gohan for you.
Yep,
Also,
definitely.
his background out has the dancing Elder Kai in it.
Yes, his background art has him looking awkward while Elder Kai dances, and then the other image is him calling Super Boo a retard.
Perfect.
It's great. It's quality.
And Super Boo seems really offended by it. He's like, I wish you used a different word.
Yeah, please don't use the R word. I might be a
Please.
galaxy destroying monster, but I have some dignity.
Exactly. I also think that possibly my fatter form might have some mental defects
He
that
might
I'm
actually be retarded, so please don't.
yeah, just please. Like, I'm not 100% sure yet. We have to take him to the doctor to get a checkout. But
He's very
the man
sensitive
is,
about it.
yeah, over 500 years old and he is still talking on about candy, which I love candy. Don't get me wrong, Gohan. By the way, hi, how you doing? I'm Super Boo.
Nice to meet you. I am Super Boo.
I'm gonna kill you now. Oh, that seems unfortunate.
Yeah, also, his art itself, pretty good. Legends is thankfully averting the Doka. You know how Fate Go has saber faces? Well,
Yes.
Dokkan has Kamehameha faces, where like they can't
Yes.
stop releasing characters that aren't doing the fucking Kamehameha pose. Legends seems to avert that. They have a couple, but a lot of characters use the Kamehameha special, but they don't saddle their art with it, which I like.
Yeah, that's it. That's a real definite problem. It is just certain faces just all look the same, and it does not help that every single member of Goku's family looks really a lot like Goku.
Yeah,
So
and it doesn't help that every single one is constantly Kamehamehaing and everything they're doing. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
real
every
nice to
single one of
have
them
all these
is
Gokus and Gohans and them that have dynamic, unique poses. It's nice.
yeah. It is a nice thing. It is a small problem, and it's nice when they figure out a way of like, no, we don't have to always give them this specific
Right. And his
face.
animations, I don't know if you fought against him or played with him or anything, but his animations are really clean. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. They look very good. They look very nice. There's a lot of I like the Karen. Not every unit does the exact same punches every single time, which is nice.
Unless you're Vegeta, in which case you do.
Yeah, and if you're Vegeta, then you have the same special that you've had since the beginning of the game, apparently, and you'll never get anything
Yeah,
else.
he's the only one. He either gets Final Flash, Gallic Gun, or for some rare occasion, Big Bang Attack, and he has the exact same blasts and punches, and that's it. But everyone else gets their own fancy shit.
Yeah, their own fancy shit. So,
So, what do you think?
hmm. I think there's a lot of fun specifically that you can have with the Gohan, where it's in the sense similar. He's similar to Turtles. Like obviously, like there's the way you can best play him, which is get all the cards possible as quickly as you can. But then there's an alternate way of playing where you could use him with Turtles, which isn't like the most like no one's going like, oh yeah, put them both together. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're like a game breaking team. I just think it'd be a very dumb team if you built a team around the fact of like, no, he's gonna keep getting green cards, and then either you deal with Gohan or you deal with Turtles. It's a lose-lose situation for you.
They are both gonna eat the fruits.
Yes, they're both gonna eat the fruits. And in terms of everything else, this is the part where I'm like, Hybrid Saiyans is still not 100% there. And like you said, like he's a good addition to it, but he's also not here to save the team.
Hmm.
In essence, he's not going to be. It's not when the red unit that you believe will eventually come out that will make Hybrid Saiyans meta once again. He'll be like a driving force, but for right now, I'm kind of feeling like a 4 out of 5. And it's also because, but I also feel like it's another unit that's dangerously close to 5 out of 5, just because I feel like the few negatives that he have are just because this is the way the current meta is,
Right.
and once the meta shifts away from that, he will be like, it will be suddenly people will be good, like it will be the effect of like, fuck, why didn't I pull for him when I had the chance?
Yeah, when he was here, now he's gone and he's really good. I'm gonna give him a
Yeah.
5 out of 5. Uh, the deal breaker for me, I guess the deal maker, is that Sun Family buff. I fucking love the Sun Family. It's such a fun team. I love it so much. So he gets
Hmm.
5 out of 5 for me for that.
All right, and then put that together. That's a 4 out of 4.5,
4
4.5 out of 5.
4.5.
4.5, everyone.
Yeah, he is a 4.5 out of 5. Then we have a 5 out of 5 with Super Saiyan 3 Angel, and a 2 out of 5 with Red Vegeta. With the asterisk that one day he will probably be better than that.
Yeah, and there's also an asterisk over my 4, which is eventually the meta will change, and that will be very clear that he has 5 out of 5.
Oh, for Gohan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time with a character like him. He's got too much in his kit.
Yes. It's the makings of someone very scary, and the only reason that people aren't more like scared is because of Broly. But eventually, Broly ain't gonna be here forever, dude. There's just no way
He's
that's
been
gonna
here for a
happen.
fucking hot minute, but eventually he will fizzle out.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So we will segue into questions. We got 9 questions today. The first
Yay.
one is from Neo at Reed Torrico, whatever you pronounce it. I don't know. And he says, "Can I be your boyfriend?" And
Reed
it's
Torinos.
yes, Reed Totino's Pizza Rolls. Uh,
Delicious.
he says, "Can I be your boyfriend?" But this is a team show. It's 2 of us, so
Hmm. So are we gonna adopt him as our boyfriend?
I guess
Is that what he's?
would it be like a groupie?
I mean, I guess you could consider it that way. It would be one of those things of like he would have to be. We would have to share him at that
Right.
point. And then we would also have to talk about to our significant others of being like, by the way, this guy is now our boyfriend. It
Yeah, you
doesn't.
just have to understand that this is how it is now.
This is the way it's gonna be. We're gonna work on this. Maybe we'll put up a contract and then we'll
We'll
see
we'll
if
come
you're
back
you're
with the
definitely in the
details
running.
next episode.
Yeah, we'll give you more details on the next episode of how to be the qualifications we need in a boyfriend.
All right, so the next question is from Goresh at GoreshX. He says,
Ooh.
"What are your thoughts about specific EXs having basically half the pull rate that any specific sparking has? And if you deem it necessary to fix it, how would you fix it?" So I know for a fact that
So
this is in reference to Evil Boo, because it's
yeah,
no
the
secret that Evil Boo is one of the best characters in the game. A lot of people think top 5, top 3. No matter how you say it, there's no way to make him not one of the best characters in the game. But because he's an EX, he's actually harder to get than the Sparkings are.
yeah, which is really nuts now that I think about it. The fact that like of the units released, the Rage Vegeta was free, but I also feel like, maybe they could have thrown in the Evil Boo. maybe they should have
Yeah.
maybe there should
So
have been a deal.
uh, I think just because of the size of the extreme pool, that's just sort of what's going to happen. There's a fuck ton of extremes, like there just
Yeah.
are. There's a jillion of them.
Yeah,
But
so
I think that
the
it needs to be mitigated by making all multis have at least one extreme in it.
See, I think that I thought about that too, but I don't think that fixes the overall problem. It's not the problem isn't that we can't get extremes. The problem is we can't get a specific extreme. Now it almost feels like when you're pulling extremes, because I've gone in plenty of extremes, the problem is that they're never the featured ones.
Right.
That's really the issue. I feel like if there was some kind of like increase to like getting a specific featured EX, it would help a little bit, because I feel like I've gotten plenty of EXs. They're just never the right one.
So you would like
It,
a 1.5% for featured EX and then the 0.6 for non-featured?
yes, exactly. Just to make it so like, and if you can also, if you want to balance it out where you still there's like really good EXs and there's some other worse ones, maybe you can feature another EX that is like not as amazing as Evil Boo. I don't know what's another
I mean,
EX
there's
that would
another
have
EX
fit
in
with
this
them.
banner that's not that good. It's the Super Saiyan Vegeta. He's okay, but he's
There you
no Evil
go.
Boo.
That's one way to fix it, but the thing is that yeah, it's a very strange problem that they've run
Well,
into. It's
it's
kind
it's
of the
because Sparkings are banner limited. So
yeah.
no banner, unless it's like a super special one, has more than like 5 Sparkings on it.
Yeah, so they always get put back into the deck, so to say. So now all extremes are open to the wild. But then you run into the problem where what happens when some of those extremes are actually really, really fucking good and better than some sparkings.
Right. And I mean, there's ups and downs to that in that all EXs are in every banner, so it's really hard to get someone like Pure Boo in the banner he drops in, but he's in every single banner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why,
That's
to me, I think it mitigates it if you have every multi be a guaranteed at least one EX, because and I mean even if you get sparking, it's like not one guaranteed EX or higher. I mean you always get a fucking EX. Just because they're in every banner, so they're bound to get them. But I also like your idea of make featured EXs double the rates of any other EX.
yeah.
I think that's good
Another
too.
one would be this would probably take a little bit more effort, but if they and this would also need require them to maybe add one more extreme to the pool is do add like similar to the guaranteed sparking ticket, do a guaranteed EX ticket. So when you're building up for the sparking, you're also building an EX one, and then when you pull it, you're at least guaranteed one of the EXs that is featured on the banner. That way, it's similar to a lot of people. It's like, well, it's a Hail Mary ticket pass, but it's at least one of the better chances I have than just straight up pulling. Because if you're one of those people, that's the one thing. That's something I really like about Legends is that you can be like me and go like, "Hey, I'm passing this banner," but then the game will be like, "Okay, that's cool. Just build up a ticket and maybe you'll get them on the
Yeah,
off
you could get
chance."
them. Yeah, and
So,
it's not the issue with it is that they want to make EXs good, and that's I think is a good thing because you
mhm.
have EXs like Thouser or EX Cooler or fucking somebody Bpan, you
Yeah,
know.
I was about to say this is
Yeah,
number one in my mind. B Pan stronger than Broly.
right. That are good, and they're good characters, and they're good to use, and they're you don't need to wait for the sparking to come back to make the team because EX, even like Raditz and the EX Goku.
Hmm.
But Evil Boo is like another level of fucked up good. Like he I think there might be 3 or 4 sparkings in the game better than he is. So when you release a unit that good, people want it. you know? Like I can live without B-Pan. It's not the end of the world if I don't get B-Pan. But it is
Hmm.
the end of the world when Evil Boo is like the best fucking character in the game and nobody can get him.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of problem is that I think it's now and it wasn't I feel it was still an issue when you had dudes like B Panning, Khalifa who were EX units who were extremely good. The problem is that the chances of getting them were just so crazy low. Nobody really had them. The same thing goes for Fasha, which I tried summoning for at least one of them and I was able to get two of them, but it's only because of insane luck that I was able to get them. And then you have someone like Evil Boo who is just literally like in a tier of his own as far as the X's are confirmed. It's like crazy how strong they've made him.
Yeah, I mean like I said,
So
he shit, I might say he's a top 3 character in the whole game.
he's terrifying. He's terrifying to think about, and he's an anti-regen character that fits on regen.
Right, so he kills Zamasu and also makes Zamasu better.
Yeah, he does both. It's insane, and he like we might have to do a later thing on him, but just know like I feel like they're gonna keep releasing EXs on the quality of Evil Boo. They're gonna have to make some changes. Because now
Yeah.
you're gonna get it used to be not a problem when the X's were these are good units to have,
Well,
but
they
when
were
they're
always
units
support units before that. Like when
yeah,
you wanted an EX, I mean, B-Pan can fight up front and
yeah,
be
definitely,
fine. But even then, like other than her, there weren't that many that you ever brought, and you don't even really always bring her when you have a fully buffed ladies team.
yeah,
They were
she's
units
one
that
of
had
those
really good Z abilities that you really wanted to have on your bench. Evil Boo has both. Like they were absolutely crazy
yeah,
when they made him, and I know why they made him is because regen was the premise of regen coming back was too good. Matches were starting to time out. Zamasu is an unkillable god. And so when you have a character like Zamasu on a team like Regen that's tanky as fuck, matches would never end. So they released a unit that pretty much ends the game when they're out. Like the Regen mirror is all about whose boo starts going. And it makes sense that they did that. You need to not have your games run to the fucking timer, you know? But it's a problem that he is as good as he is, and nobody can fucking get him.
yeah, it's extremely tough. And the people who do have him are going to be running him, and then the people who run him, it's going to be like one of those things of like I think the only reason he wouldn't be on the top 5 most used is that not everyone has him.
I have him. It's great. I have him at 5 stars. It's wonderful.
You Andy for you have nonstop been fronting over the fact that you have Evil Boo to
It's pretty
everyone else
great.
who has failed to get Evil Boo.
It's
It
pretty
is,
great.
yeah, and I would love to have him. And I feel like he's so good that they'll never do the thing where they do for other EXs where it's like, oh, you can just grind their medals. That's never happening with that dude.
Oh, hell no. Not a chance.
If they do that, then they have 100% fucked up. They
Because
have
everyone will
released
7-star him. Yeah, like,
they will have literally said it's time for something new, and Evil Boo will be like the fucking flood, and a new wave of people in Legends will start anew.
yeah. He would be beyond good. Like, ridiculously beyond good.
Yeah. So,
So anyway, that's our thoughts on that one.
yeah, thank you for
Long
the
answer.
question.
Yeah. Next one is from Sunshine at Sunny Nights 15. And he says, do you feel like buffing the least used units is the best way to go about improving characters? And also, do you think that Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a 100% must-have because of how good Evil Boo is? So this is why I wanted to hold off talking about this earlier when we started getting into it with Vegeta. No, I don't think that least used is the best way to go about it. Specifically because, like you said about Hercule, you have a character that he's not going to get used by design. He's built not to get used. And then you have characters like the Vegeta and the Trunks that they get used for kind of weird reasons. Like, they're not getting used because they're good. So it's stupid that is holding them back from getting to get any better.
Yeah, and I kind of agree to the same thing. Like, if you have a problem and you understand, like, you can't just say like, oh, because people are using them, that means we don't buff them. It's very clear that someone like Beerus, for example, if people are using Beerus, it's because they really like Beerus, so they want to use Beerus, and so therefore he'll never get buffed because he's also an extremely bad unit. At least as the game is now, because there's not a lot of God Key dudes here, but even then, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you should have a good frame of reference of what your game is at and where the meta is at, where it's like, okay, these obvious units need to be buffed for whatever reason. Not because they're the least used, it's because they're either the oldest or they're just outdated or their kit never worked to begin with.
Right. Like, if the next set of buffs in a month or two or whenever it comes, if it doesn't have that Vegeta and that Trunks on it, I will severely question what their logic is anymore with this. It doesn't matter if they get used for their backup, like their Z abilities, because their Z abilities, that's not what a sparking character on your bench is for, you know? Like, yeah, it's okay to have a good Z ability, and that's generally what made EX good. But it's absolutely ridiculous that you have these really bad characters that could be really good with some tweaks to their kit. Like, that red Future Trunks has the potential to be incredible. And he's got a team that really needs him. And that team would become really good if they ever actually gave him the time of day and fucking buffed him. And they're not doing it because right now he's getting a pity use. Like, the only reason he's used is because, well, he's all we got, so we might as well fucking use him. But that's actually stopping him from getting buffed. It's stupid.
I also feel it causes this weird thing when they're releasing their, like, these are the units. So here's the EX unit being buffed, and here's the one that's gonna be here's the sparking that's being buffed. Like, for example, there was a good period where it's like, here's EX Pan, and then Sparking Pan got buffed, and here's EX Piccolo, and Sparking Piccolo got buffed. Here's EX Vegeta, and Hercule got buffed.
Uh-huh. When I saw that Vegeta, I was 100% like, oh, cool, they're doing Red Vegeta. Nope, fucking Hercule.
Hercule showed up. And it was maybe the most, like, I guess the only reason that they put the other ones together is because there was a theme to them, but you can't do that with everyone else if you can't control. I think it's much, if you want to still do like the bottom, I would say the bottom 2 units for each one gets buffed, and then the other 3 are specific handpicked ones you want. Because then you could say, like, okay, these units literally nobody uses. we're gonna buff them. And then the others is like, these are units that other people kind of use, but we feel need to be improved in some fashion.
Right. Or as a dev, if you don't want to take responsibility for that for yourself, which you should, because it's your game and you should know how the fucking meta works,
Yeah.
um, put it in like an in-game survey. Do like, hey, we'll give you 100 chrono crystals or whatever if you fill this out and you tell us what units you think deserve to be buffed the most. Fine. Don't put
Yeah.
anybody on it, because then you'll get those fuckers that are like, hee, buff Broly, I'm hilarious, But like, put a set number of units on there that have a limited range. Don't put people who obviously shouldn't be. But it can't be done by usage anymore. It just can't.
Yeah. It just doesn't. I don't agree with that one.
Yep.
And if you feel like whatever you're buffing is gonna change something, you should really, I don't know, get a better grasp of the game. And I feel like they have a decent enough grasp on the game that they shouldn't need to constantly go like, well, the bottom 5 are gonna get buffed.
Yep, there's just no reason for it, really.
Yeah.
Second part of his question, do you think that the purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a must-have to counter Evil Boo? No, I don't think anybody's a must-have. He helps, yeah.
To specifically stop what he does?
Yeah, well, because he's regen. So he's saying,
Yeah.
do you need him, otherwise is regen going to kill you? No, I don't think so. I think that this game just doesn't have must-have units. It's just about, like, what you want to build. It has must-haves per, like, oh, you want to use this character, you want to use this team, then you got to have these guys. But there's no one unit that's like, you're fucked if you don't have this guy, because, like, let's say you don't play a Saiyan team. Well, then, obviously, of course not. He's not a must-have. You'll never do anything with him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of is really based off of, like, just what are you going for, and also do you actually care enough about that unit? Like, not a lot of people probably thought Mai was a must-have. That didn't stop me from getting her, and then it turned out that accidentally, she actually is one of the...
she is a must-have. Yeah.
Oops, she's actually extremely broken, and they didn't realize it because everyone thought that she would be the worst character on the banner, and it actually was Trunks. So, I don't know. I feel like the game is built enough to where each character is good enough, and some characters are stronger than you would expect, like Evil Boo. But nothing really is must have. And if you're going to be fighting a team, sometimes a team just has your fucking number. That might just also be the case there. It's like, well, I'm going to do my best, but there's a very good chance that this team just is not going to be, like, I don't have a way to stop regen. That doesn't mean that I have to build my team to specifically be anti-regen. I either just can just say, like, well, this match is lost. Let's see how far it can go. And sometimes I win and sometimes I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a roll of the dice.
Yep.
If you hate regen, then you should
if
absolutely
you really fucking hate regen, then I guess he is.
It's him and Evil Boo on the same team.
Yeah, pretty much. The fuck you regen team.
Yeah.
The next question is from Mark6000 at MarkLeo6000. He says, what do you think about Legends releasing challenge battle after challenge battle, each one harder than the last, even though the last 3 or so story events they have a harder difficulty tab also? So I guess he's saying, why don't they just use the harder difficulty tab?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care either way, to be honest.
I don't know. Some challenge battles it's hit or miss for me. I can tell right away that I can tell that the events are fucked on purpose because you have people who should be better at me at the game struggling at the game. So it's like, what the fuck do I do? So the answer is, I guess I just won't do anything. I just won't try.
That's fair. I mean, all of them are generally pretty beatable. Like the last stage of the Broly thing last time really sucked. It really sucked. Like the hero one, but it was doable. It just sucks feeling like you have to invest in hero units because it always feels like a total waste, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think any of them are so hard that they're like bullshit unfair. They're just hard.
Yeah, I haven't run into any one of those. I know there's some that are just annoying, but if I played better, I'd be able to get them done.
Right. And that's pretty much what it is. It's just that, like, yeah, it totally sucks and they're hard, but they're not walling anybody, you know? It's not like, oh, you didn't buy this new unit, then you can't fucking do it.
Yeah. Just even with people who have the units can't do it. So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough fight.
Yep.
And I've never felt like too bad about being able to not do one. I just go like, that's fine. I missed out on like 50 something.
Yeah, just live with it basically.
Yeah. If it was like 1,000 for beating the challenge battle, then yeah, I'd be fucking pissed. How dare you put this giant ass incentive in front of me and I literally can't beat it.
Yeah, it's like if you're going from 1 to 4 stars for beating it, then yeah, that would definitely suck. But it's never really like
No.
that. So
No.
the next one is from Matt at Master M, and he said, "Should everyone try out JoJo Pitter Patter Pop?" The answer is yes. Yes, I agree with you, Matt. Yes, they should.
I'll give that a yeah. Go ahead, try it out. I haven't, but that doesn't shouldn't stop you from trying it out.
Good game, good quality game. Uh,
Looks very cute.
Next one is from Jenna
Like,
at Boring Halter.
ooh,
And she says, "What do you think the max level should be? Do you think they'll just keep going and that it will never end, or do you think at some point they will cap?" Um,
9,000.
okay, fair enough. I don't really give a shit about the level. I feel like raising the level cap shouldn't even really be a thing because of the frequency that they drop units. You don't need to add that extra grind layer to it. I don't see the incentive.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really a bummer. Is that there's only so many. There's basically only ever one spot available because I'm not going to use the bottom one because it never fills up anyway. So why use it?
Right.
So either have more training spots or yeah, just keep it as the way it is now. It seems
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
And then you have all the extra souls that you have to grind, and they did make it a lot easier. Like it's not bullshit like to get them, but it's
Yeah,
just one of those
it's much
things where
easier
it's
than
like,
even when I started.
yeah. But it's just one of those things. It's like I'm already doing all of this other shit. Do I really have to do that too? Like, am
Yeah.
I really getting anything out of that? And I guess it's up to you as the player if you like the level system or not. I just don't really care.
Yeah, don't. It's fine. They could stay at 2,000. Even though I think there is spots where it's clear that there's going to be another level jump eventually.
Yeah, there definitely will be, but I think 2000's fine. It's not no skin off my nose either way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. The next one is from Super Saiyan Salty at SSJ Salty. He says, "What's your opinion on the friendship point system? Do you see it having any other uses in the future?" So the friendship point system, for anybody that doesn't know, right now all it does is it lets you get shallot different super attacks. That's all it does. So if you have high enough friendship with a unit, you can teach shallot their super attack, but only if that friendship level is like high as shit and that character is one. Like you can't give anybody super to shallot. Only some people can.
Hmm.
Like instant transmission Goku cannot give his super to shallot. I remember being very bummed about that because that was the one I was going to go for. So like right now, all people do is they give Broly, the old Broly, they give his super to shallot because it has a high chance of feint. That's the only reason they do it. I think it's fine because to me it's like a non-feature. It just exists.
Yeah, they just kind of exist as there.
Yeah, because shallot's cool,
I,
but like nothing you could give him would make him good enough.
nope, because of what he is. Unless they decide to like, I don't know what they give him, Super Saiyan 3 or some shit. But I don't know.
Well,
That
yeah, I
would be
mean, if
that.
you eventually make him meta relevant by force, he'll be meta relevant, sure. But like you can't. There's no super attack he's gonna roll out of bed and be like, "Aha, I'm good now," because I have Broly's feint. It would be
I
cool if
have
they did
the
something in the
Chi Chi
future too.
Bancho flan, and so now I'm top tier.
I am now God tier. I don't see that happening, and I don't see them. I don't know that I would want them to do anything else with it. You know, I don't think I
Yeah.
want to get to the point where it's like, oh shit, um, if I don't get my friendship level to 10 with my Goku, he's not as good. I don't know that I would want that.
Yeah. I think it just kind of exists for whatever reason. I remember it like some events wouldn't increase the friendship gauge at all, so I kind of forgot it existed until that new stage came out.
Oh, the super friendship stage that like
Yeah.
literally vomits friendship gauge at you.
Yes. Until that thing came out, I always saw friendship gaze as kind of a wasted opportunity, if anything.
Yeah, I would
Because it,
co-sign on that. I think it would certainly qualify as more or less a wasted opportunity. Um,
it's nice that you get some money, but it's not enough.
yeah, it is what it is. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
If they, yeah. If they try and do something in the future, I don't know what they would do, but I guess more power to them if they think it will help Shallot in some way.
Yeah, I do think it should stay shallot centric.
Yeah. Maybe eventually you get people's clothes and then I can dress them up as Chi Chi.
Yeah, that's fair. The next one is from Tom at Foulform. He says, "Would you make any changes to Rising Rush? I feel like it is too random for such an important part of the fight." I'll
If you
co-sign on
lose the
that.
rise, if you lose the Rising Rush clash, you automatically get Rising Rushed. There is no guessing game.
So
If
if
you
you lose
lose,
the Rising Rush clash, they Rising Rush you, and you don't get to guess. You just get hit.
you don't get to guess. You just automatically that character dies. It does not matter how much HP they have left that they could have tanked it. It deals 9999999 damage.
I think you should just be limited to one. It is an auto kill when it hits 99% of the time. I know that sometimes characters live it when it's very specific circumstances. Like when your friggin' my Rising Rush is a full health transformed Broly, she's not going to kill him. But most of the time, it's an automatic kill. And I feel like there's just no reason you should be able to get more than one of those.
So we'll discuss this again when they release more Dragon Ball units. But the second that there's a feasible team that you can make with Bulma and King Piccolo, people are gonna realize that there's a big fucking problem with the Rising Rush.
Yeah. Um, it. I don't think it needs to be removed because there is
No.
no other comeback mechanic in this game at all. And because this game has no defense, if you also take out its only comeback mechanic, it's literally, oh, your character died. Well, I guess you just lost, forfeit, you know? And that's not a
Mm-hmm.
situation you ever want to be in, where it's, yeah, you're supposed to fight it out with three characters, but the game is basically over when the first one dies. That's not fun for anybody. So I think it's fine that it's in the game, but I don't even necessarily care that it's random because I don't care that you can get it wrong because an automatic kill should have a cost, right? Like you shouldn't just get to pick when you want to kill their guy and it's just free. I'm fine with
Yeah.
it being a guessing game. I just think you shouldn't be able to get multiple. And that would kind of suck for Bulma because her big thing is that she pulls Dragon Balls. That's what makes her good.
Yep.
Um, but I guess one, I don't really give a shit that it's nerfing Bulma's incredibly busted skill because the ability to tag out for free against the tag timer is already stupid.
And
So
get a Dragon Ball.
yeah, maybe she doesn't also need a Dragon Ball on top of it. Um,
But what if I also got a Dragon Ball after using it?
right, but I also think it would add more weight to stuff like Kale. Like her ability to disrupt getting Dragon Balls is cool, but getting that first Rising Rush is like no effort. You can get it in like
Mm-hmm.
one good combo most of the time. So if you lower the rate of Dragon Ball spawns and then you limit the Rising Rush to one, I think you got a much healthier metagame.
I also think there could be a little thing of maybe I should tell you when the opponent has the Rising Rush. Because now, if you know that there's the reason why a lot of times the Rising Rush feels like, oh, I lost out of nowhere is because literally the Rising Rush comes out of nowhere. It's a guessing game of, did he actually have enough for the Dragon Balls at that point? So if you actually get like a little thing that just pops up and says like, okay, he has Rising Rush now, then there's maybe a little bit less of like, and maybe there's not like a constant reminder. It just there's like a little like blip, and then you go like, that means he has Rising Rush. He can use it at any time. I just know that like, yo, maybe I shouldn't immediately vanish after this fake out Ki Blast.
Right, because or like if I'm gonna vanish after this fake out Ki Blast, I should expect Rising Rush is coming, so I should tag and vanish again. You
Yes,
know?
something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Something that, yeah. Because then, again, then both players can go like, well, there's ways for me to stop Rising Rush if it happens. And then you have to actually use Rising Rush slightly smarter now.
Yeah, I could co-sign on that. And then the last one is not a question. It is a suggestion for Legends from a bunch of Japanese characters, and then his is RustyBusty23, and he says, suggestion for
Damn.
Legends, PvP should require low ping for a match to search so that people with a bar of signal don't join. I don't really care if you join and you're laggy. I just think it's stupid that there's no way out of a match. Like, I think if a match is obviously laggy and the game just can't get its shit together, it should just cut the match.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't wait until one player decides they've had enough and they want to eat the penalty and they just quit. It should tell, okay, this match is fucked. They're not connected. Let's just end it. Or
it also helps
or like
fight against...
it should say in the match like low connection detected, no penalty disconnect. Just you can quit right now if you want to. Both of those are okay.
Fight against. I also feel like there's some a lot of problems with the lag is that sometimes it can feel real shitty when you lose to specifically for lag, and it also feels worse when it feels like it's only happening to you. Maybe
when the opponent doesn't feel like they're getting it at all.
Where it's like, oh yeah, when he attacks, no lag, and then all of a sudden I need to use a strike card. Oh, but wait, it's not being used, and he's being allowed to fully charge his ki. Okay, I guess this is just the way the game has decided to play in this favor.
Mm-hmm. And I know that there's like PvP cheats that do that kind of stuff. I don't know what all that they do, because especially when it comes to trusting people on like Reddit forums and stuff with like how do the cheats work, 90% of the time they're bullshitting. They don't know, they're just complaining, right?
It just does. The cheats just work.
Cheats are King Crimson.
Exactly.
God, it does feel that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like 90% of the time they're just bitching, right? They're just mad that something happened and they want to complain about it, so it's, oh, you're a cheater. So I don't know necessarily what they all do, but I know there's some that fuck with you, and it really feels like when you can't get any cards out and they won't even like activate, and then you look over at your opponent and your opponent is doing like key cancel, flip, dash forward, charge his key, get an attack off, it's all still comboing into his ultimate attack, main ability, like it definitely feels like something is wrong and it's fucking you over.
Yeah. I'll never forget that when I fought against that guy yesterday, where it was like the connection's really unstable, and then it's like, really? Because it really feels like it's only unstable when it's time for me to attack.
Yeah.
And then I was able to bait him with the Rising Rush after he fucking killed one of my girls because, the shit was laggy. And I was able to take down 2 of his characters after coming back from that. And then so he had to use Super Saiyan God Vegeta to take down B-Pan. And then all of a sudden the connection decided like, actually, it's at its worst. And for this specific matchup, when it was my type advantage versus his type disadvantage, all of a sudden the game was like, no, there's too much Wi-Fi problems. And then the game goes to me and be like, hey, I don't know what the fuck happened there, but if that happens again, there's going to be some problems. I was like, fuck you. What do you mean if there's some problems? There was no... It seems like I was the only one experiencing any problems. Don't fucking come at me saying it was my fault.
Yeah, don't fucking tell me not to cheat when I'm the one getting fucked over here.
I'm the one over here using a B-Pan, so don't try and tell me that I'm the one cheating.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our thoughts. That is Legends Roadwork for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope we answered some questions. If you have any requests for the Big Boy Scale, feel free to leave them below. I listen to Big Boy Scale requests. I'm not a tyrant like Wokey is. It's his scale and
I run my ship with an iron fist. No. We do in Hercule when I say we do in Hercule.
But yeah, everybody, we will see you next week for the next episode. I don't know if it'll be out before the next episode we record. So if it is, I hope you guys enjoy that tournament mode thing that's coming out.
Yeah, the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Point the sign to the WrestleMania.
The Battle Royale.
Point at the WrestleMania sign. I'm going to be champion.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye. Peace out.